I know this video is going to be kind of long. You can see these burns on my face. I had a coal stove flashback and burnt the hell out of me. Anyway, I'd like to address a couple of comments, at least one comment in particular. Uh, One of well, this comment was, I hope you've got a tractor big enough to pull that corn planter. Well, let's put it this way. This corn planter was built in 1992. In 1992, John Deere's largest tractor, row crop tractor, was the John Deere 4960. Yeah, so do you think I got a tractor big enough to pull it? The 4960 would pull it with ease if I wanted to. The 6210R would pull it with ease. The 7810 would pull it with ease. The 7530 would pull it with ease. Probably if I dualed up the 4450, it would pull it without any problems. So, there's a lot of people that don't understand that this corn planter is 30 years old, and 30 years ago, 200 horsepower was like king of the hill. The 4960, 200 horsepower. It's not like it is today. And the other crazy thing about this corn planter is these frames, that frame system, the same shit they put the brand new stuff on. I could literally strip all those row units off, put the XPs or whatever I want to. I could convert this to that CCV thing, that single tank, and run the airlines if I wanted to, because it's the same frame. I wouldn't do it. I kind of like the boxes, the individual boxes, because they're 3-bushel boxes. 3-bushel boxes. Wow. That is... Wow. I mean, a bag does about 2.5 acres. So we're looking at 3 bags, probably more than 3 bags, but 80,000 kernels in a bag. Most bags are somewhere in that 40-pound range. Some of them get even a bit more, but just say on average 40 pounds. So you can put 4 bags in there. And per row, 4 bags, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 acres per row. 10 times 24. That's 240 acres I can plant with that machine without filling up. 240 acres without filling up. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. So, anyway, I'll be splitting them 12 and 12. So if I have an 86 day, I'll run an 84 or an 88 day on 12, 12 and 12. And then 90s, 92, 93, 94 day in there. That's how I'm going to do it. But anyways, back to the video, because I figured I'd answer that question or that comment. It needed to be answered. Alright, so I'll just finish up this video. I'll finish up this video. There's a lot of videos going to happen on this corn planter. Anyway, this is John Deere 7200. Bought it in Missouri. It's been a few days since I've actually filmed anything. I got all the row units back on. I did not attach any of the liquid fertilizer chains or even the seed monitors or seed sensors to see if she was dropping right. Took all the springs off, just put it all together. Yeah, this row right here, this guy in the back here, I am missing some bits and pieces. When they took it apart, they didn't take too good a care, and they lost 3 bolts and whatever. But that's fine, because I'm going to replace the bushings in it anyway. Yeah, everything is where it's supposed to be. Now, what I'm going to do with it before we get to the field with it, well, before I do anything, I'm going to move it out of my way here. It's supposed to rain like hell today, but I'm going to move it out of the way. But what's going to happen to it is it's going to get new closing wheels. Closing wheel arms are in pretty poor condition, so I'll be replacing those. Brand new Keaton seed firmers. That's where I'm going to put the secret sauce. Will go right in on top of the row, and then right in the furrow, and then closed in with the new closing wheels. I'm going to use a spiked closing wheel, the Furrow Cruiser or something very similar. Furrow Cruiser Extreme or regular old Furrow Cruiser. Didn't find any surprises or anything that I thought was bad. All the depth gauge wheels are good. The openers are all good. Didn't see anything bad there. Oh, I'm going to put new seed tubes in, precision planting seed tubes. They'll all be new. What the heck else was it? All new chains, obviously, that sort of thing. There's, yeah, really not too much more that needs to be done. But if you add it all together, the amount of money that it takes to do that is going to be quite substantial. Just the closing wheels, I suspect, will be $5,000. Closing wheel arms is going to be another, close to $2,000. Seed tubes, they're not that expensive, but still, you put 24 of them on. And the Keaton seed firmers, there's going to be thousands of dollars there. So probably when I'm done, I will have invested somewhere around $15,000, maybe not quite, maybe a little bit more. And gets 2 new tires up there on the markers. If I pull this with the 8530, I will use the markers. If I pull it with, say, the 7810, I'll have to weight the 7810 down, and I can use the GPS that I have with that. But Teresa was like, hey, if you're using the 8530, I can't VT. The 6210R sits there. If I use a 6210R, I will be purchasing a John Deere GPS unit for it, and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, yeah, that's the whole ball of wax. So what are we doing today? What are we going to do today? Let's see, what do you got? You frozen?
Yeah.
It's cold. So today we're going to rip bale hay. We're going to rake and bale hay. So I got to hook this thing up. Now, I'm going to get out of here. I got to get a new fan motor for this tractor. It's a pain in the ass. These things, I don't know what John Deere's problem is with their cab fan motors, but this is like the 3rd one I've had to put in these tractors. Not this tractor, but in general, I'm constantly putting these stupid fan motors in, and it's annoying me. So anyway, alright, it's that time of year again. The time of year you want to be on vacation in a warm spot, but instead you're out baling because you were short-handed and you had a fire in a baler. Not this baler, the other baler. We will be fixing that baler in the coming months, but I do want to tell you about an upcoming project here, and it's going to be available to anybody that would like it or want it. We got 2 things we're going to be doing this year. Well, there's a lot of things we're going to be doing this year, but one is the monster corn planter. It is a monster. This thing's big. It's big. I don't know if I went over this. All new closing wheels. These closing wheel arms, there's a company that builds a kit, and I'm going to fix that. What the heck is this? Somebody did something. That's funny. Oh, they're missing the clip, so they put that thing on there. That's a good fix. Something I would do. Look, they did it there too. Isn't that something? A pack of those little circlips are really cheap. Like really cheap. We could have done that. So anyways, this corn planter. Gonna actually not turn this into a twin row 6. I just don't have the time. And to be quite honest with you, I think I'm going to do some twin row work with the 24 row. Just a little, not a lot, just a little. Do a field just to see what it does. This corn planter is going to be worked on in a way that most people wouldn't understand, I guess. This thing's a pain in the ass to fold and unfold, and that really was the reason why I wanted to buy a different corn planter. I would have bought another one of these had I felt the need to do so, but I wanted one that was a front fold, and to buy a 12-row front fold would have cost me almost 3 times what it cost me for the 24-row. So I just decided not to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace or rebuild these cylinders, these 2 cylinders here on both sides, and I'm going to make these hoses that run these 2 cylinders. I don't know if I'm going to do that. These are dedicated. These 2 cylinders run off of the tractor hydraulics, but I think what I'm going to do is hook them up to a solenoid pack
a solenoid pack. You see, there's a solenoid pack here, right? But somewhere someone decided, you know what, we're not going to use that anymore. I think that's for the openers or the markers, but I'm going to buy or build a solenoid pack like that to actually lift up this wheel here and the wheel on the other side. So I'll just have a box with switches on it that I throw the switch and it operates. It will lock that out. So I can lock that out and leave it up instead of having to get out, put the blocks in. And same thing with the other things. This is a Kurteman front fold system. It was before Deere started to do it. Well, I didn't want this thing to woggle around on this faceplate, so I welded these things in there right here, and then I would take that bolt and then fasten it up nice and tight. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do what I had done down here, which was put a pin in. I will put a pin like this one in there, and these will be locked out as well, so that they open all the way up, and then they lock you throw that solenoid and the pressure is locked in there. And that will be another 12-row corn planter. We'll be running 2 planters, a 12 and a 24. We'll be putting 36 rows of corn in the ground at a time. So you're wondering why I can't do it all with a 24 row. Well, I can. It's just I want to get done as quickly as possible, and 2 corn planters running is better than 1, and I'll have a support crew following that. Now, this is the project that I've wanted to get rid. I want to get rid of this thing. All right, so this is my corn planter. I bought it when I was young. It's a 4-row wide. Obviously, I have robbed some parts off of it. That wheel there. We've got groundhogs and stuff in there. But the nice thing is I've got a ton, and I mean a ton of parts to repair this corn planter. Brand new parts, brand new bits and pieces to repair this corn planter. It is a no-till. It's got the no-till Coulter on it. I got the no-till downforce springs on there. Yeah, it'll do conventional or no-till. I added the weight to it so that it would penetrate better. I will take those off of there. But I'm going to rebuild this corn planter, and then I'm going to sell it. There's some damage here to this fertilizer box. I will be repairing that, or whatever I have to do. And I'm not going to ask for a lot of money for it. It's just going to be something maybe a young farmer that's just starting out would want to purchase this thing for a reasonable price and get started. It doesn't take much to get started if you've got something cheap. I mean, and you can pull that corn planter with something like that if you wanted to. Or the old 50-20 pulls it good, but something like that, So that's going to be in the works. That's what we're going to do when I get caught up with some of the other things we're going to do. I got so many parts for the 7000s that I'm never going to use on this 7000. So when you make that choice that you're not going to use those parts on, say, this planter, you just buy you got like the closing wheels. I got brand new closing wheel arms for that thing. I have a whole bunch of parts that will never be used on this corn planter. So I'll just offer it up, put it together, offer it up, and sell it. Now those parts do not fit on this corn planter. It's a totally different system. So that's what you got to do, so I can move it along and somebody else can enjoy it. And you get to watch me build it or rebuild it. It won't take me but a few days to do that work. And yeah, somebody can come along with $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, and bada bing, bada boom. There you go. You can narrow it up to a 4-row narrow if you want. You can do that with those. Anyway, I'm gonna go bale some stuff. I'm bailing over here at a place that was the Olympic Training Center in 1930, whenever the first Olympics was. It was the Equestrian Training Center way back when. The name of the farm is Lana Lobel. This is just a pasture that it's been pasture forever and ever. I've made hay on it now for about, wow, I'm going on something like 13, 14 years. We didn't get any fertilizer on it this year. It does show that, including the drought. But I think if I put fertilizer on, it would have been probably close to similar to the same, because it was really dry over here. Oops, I got a minimum thing there. As long as my thing better be freaking measuring. In some moisture somewhere, there's frost or frozen or something in the star wheel up on the top of the baler. There, it did that. It did that again. Why is it doing that? That's what it does, and then I get no... Oh, there, it's still working. Okay. It gives me that minimum thing, and then all of a sudden, it stops working, but apparently it's working. I don't know. I do believe... It's tying knots. Oop. There's a bump. Because we're in the frozen weather, everything is rough. Just plain rough, right, William?
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, this house here, it's a very large house. Oh, what the heck? We're jammed up. So yeah, I guess when it starts getting moist out, I don't know, what the hell? There ain't that much material here to cause it to do that. Darn thing. Anyway, yeah, it's a pretty cool place. It just sucks doing this in the winter time. If you're ever going to get into the mulch hay business, my advice is don't. This is a tough business. It never used to be this tough, but it's pretty tough business. People think that it's more glamorous than what it is. It's not glamorous at all. It used to be the thing that paid all the bills without any problems. Now it's, you got to be smart. You really got to be smart in order to pay the bills at the mulch hay business. When I started, you could buy a brand new baler for around 50,000 bucks. Brand new. To buy a brand new baler today, it's $250,000. Yeah, $250,000. Now, the balers today are way better than the balers of yesteryear, but you don't want to be in just the mulch hay business. It's not a smart move. Now, I don't want to deal with horse people, beef people, or dairy people. Dairy farmers. Just not that I don't like dairymen, but I've had my fill. Not that I don't like beef people. I've just had my fill. There's just not a large enough beef operation, dairy operation, or even, I wouldn't even consider a horse operation. They suck. Okay? They just do. So you deal with beef farmers, unless they're sending out weekly 30 animals a week or 30 animals a month. I'd say 30 animals a month. You're not going to make any money. They're not going to make any money, and you're not going to be able to get your bills paid with what they paid for their hay. That's just a fact. We just don't have that size operation left here. The biggest, there's that long bale I knew I was going to make. There is an operation not far from here. They have over 2,000 acres, and they were running, I don't know how many animals they were running, but it was a few hundred animals on their farm, and they did a really good job. But the problem was they quit. From what I understand, I haven't been out past that place in a while. Maybe tomorrow when it warms up enough and I'm done with what I'm doing here. Yep, well, the lights are on. They're working just fine. The other thing I absolutely dislike about winter baling is the sun just doesn't shine at all. The sun just went down a little bit ago, and it's like, what, 5:30? Nope, it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. We have passed the winter solstice, so we are on the way to longer days, but it'll be a month before you notice them. A month and a half before you notice them. And yeah. I need a break. You know, we've been running hard, like really hard, all summer, all spring, all summer, all fall, and now into the winter. We're running hard. I haven't had any time off, and as most of y'all know, I am going to Lama in England. You know, we're going to meet up with Kurt and George, and I was kind of hoping to meet up with Dino as well. I kind of liked him. I don't know where he's at. He changed his career, had a career change, so that's okay. I mean, we all got to do something in this world. But I just really need a break. And honestly, going to England, it's a business trip. It's not even a pleasure trip. I don't know how much pleasure we're going to get out of it. But it's definitely all business. We just go into Lama, look at equipment, meet people. Doing that for 2 days. Gonna try to go to the New Holland T7 plant. William won't be able to go through, but my wife and him, you know, Teresa and him, William can go to the what do you call it? The welcome center there. It's really nice in Basildon, England. I've been there. I went there with my daughter back in 2014. That was a fun trip. It was a really, really fun trip. Anybody that gets a chance to go to the United Kingdom, England, and go to the Basildon plant, you'll really enjoy it. Belgium, Zettelheim, Ypres, all these different places. Just one of those long nights. Just a long night. I don't know what time it is. I'm gonna look. It's a little after 9 o'clock. You know, when it's winter time, it's like midnight in the summer. I don't know what it is, but once that sun goes down, you've only got a limited amount of time before your body says it's time to hibernate. You better go hibernate. Yeah, and I would like to thank Larry and his wife. For some reason, her name eludes me right now. But last night we were mowing this stuff. Not this particular field, but right behind Larry's house in Branchburg, New Jersey. He offered us supper, so we quit what we were doing and went in the house and had a nice spaghetti dinner. Homemade spaghetti sauce, and I liked the little pierogies. They got these little pierogies that they had bought. It wasn't homemade or anything, but they were good. Now, my wife makes killer pierogies. Like, they're heart stoppers. They're so good. But anyways, I just wanted to thank Larry and his wife for having us over. It really meant a lot to us that there's people in the world that would, you know, stop what they're doing, you know, for some guy with a camera that bales hay in their backyard and just say, hey, come on in. We got some soup left over and we'll make you some spaghetti with homemade spaghetti sauce. And it was wonderful. It was really a wonderful time too. Good conversation. And he plays a mean harmonica. And you know, I'm so rusty on the banjo. He has a banjo, but I'm so rusty I was embarrassed to play it. But he's really good. But anyway, that being said, just another long day. The ground is frozen. The hay is dry, believe it or not. It's probably running 14-15%. I can tell by the pressure on the boards, the hydraulic pressure, that it is not wet. It is not going to cook, not going to steam, not going to spoil. You know, it's not like in 5 months or in 3 or 4 months it's going to be absolute garbage. It's actually going to keep. You know, I'm gonna ship it within 2 months, but I'm gonna get it out of here in the next couple of days and get it home and in a pile there so that we can ship it out when it's cured out. I mean, there's nothing live in it; it's just dead. But I got to talk to this property owner. They have percolated this thing so bad. Perk tested it. to the point that it's so god awful rough. I don't know, it needs to have something done with that. I don't know, I gotta talk to them about it, see what I can get them to do. If they put lime on this, I'll make them put lime on it, because they do have intentions of building things like that. We're in an industrial park. But, you know, I'm not making any money on this hay. There's just no money to be made on this crap hay. But if they put lime on it and I could get it turned into something a little different than what it is, there'd be money to be made here, and they'd be happy, and I wouldn't be so grumpy about coming all the way over here to do this. It's 30 miles from the farm. And look at that wife. She's just flying with that 75-30. Just flying. So, I don't know. If I could get them to put 3 ton of lime to the acre, then I'd probably plant corn in here. It's not bad ground. It's just neglected to the point that it's been neglected. I don't think it's been really properly farmed in 30, 40 years. I know that the guy that farmed it before I got it, he just made mulch hay for them to use in their business. That was all he did, and he didn't put any fertilizer on it. I've put very little fertilizer on it because you just never know when there's going to be a warehouse go up in here. And I'd hate to put a bunch of money into a farm just to have it turn into a warehouse, because where that warehouse sits over there, there was a much larger field than this one, and they had sold it to a guy, and he kind of shystered me a little bit. Needed that farmland assessment form, and you know, he's telling me, oh, I'm a farmer, I'll come up, and I was going to do it, but being you're there, why don't you do it? And just give me that farmland assessment form. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I gave him the farmland assessment form, a little bit of fertilizer on the ground, and wouldn't you know it, the farmland assessment was due on August 1st. He had it turned in by July 30th, and on August 5th, they broke ground with bulldozers and built a warehouse. I never even got anything out of it. You know, people don't have to be that way. They could just say, hey, you know what, Mr. Pandy, we don't want to pay the back taxes this year. We'll do that next year, but if you give us a farmland assessment form, if you get it off by August 5th or whatever the heck it was, you know, we're going to be building a building there. Or, you know, hey, you know, I know you're not going to make any money off of it. Just give us a farmland assessment form and we'll give you some money for your time, something, anything. But I got nothing, and I tried calling them, no answer on the phone. It was just a shyster job. So, I don't know. Who knows? I just hate when people are facetious like that. Just terrible. But anyway, just another night. We're about 150 bales today. This stuff is so... See, the funny thing about baling hay in the wintertime is you lose about half of it. And that's just a flat out fact. You lose about half of it because when fall hits and it's matured and everything stops growing, the microbes just hollow out the stalks. It starts its decaying process and it just disappears. So that baler that burned really cost me tens of thousands of dollars above and beyond what it burnt, because we just didn't have the capacity to get this stuff off on time. And of course, I've got a lot of it like this too. I mean, I got a lot of it like this. There's probably, I thought there was about 300 acres, but I'm wrong, because I've done 100 and probably 30 acres today. And yeah, one and a quarter bales to the acre. It's not good. But anyway, I've got probably 400 or 500 more acres to do, and I'm just a little bit sad about how it turned out. But whatever, we're gonna get it, and it'll be an end to this drought year, and then I'm gonna take a vacation. I swear to God. I don't know where. Well, I know where. I just don't know exactly when. But anyway, I'm going to shut up now. It looks like Teresa's got her part done. She's moving at about Mach 5. I'm running 8.4 mile an hour. She's running probably 10 and a half. There's one more field over there, and then we're done for the night. And then it's the 30-mile drive home. Yay.